This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we are talking with Yvette Carter. Good morning, Yvette.
Good morning.
And welcome to the Queen Lizzie podcast.
Thank you, Queen Lizzie. I'm so used to calling you Sora Jenkins.
That's fine.
For the past 34 years.
Yes.
So if I slip into that, but I'm going to remember Queen Lizzie.
Absolutely. I do not have a problem with you calling me Sora, okay? Because we are forever, okay?
We are.
And I enjoy being a Zeta, and I don't have to tell anybody I know you love Zeta because you work extremely hard for us, helping us, and I enjoy that. And you're the younger generation, so you have to take care of me.
I'll take that. Being that I'm on the north side of 50, I'll take being called the younger generation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you are. And I'm absolutely happy, like I said, and honored to have you as my guest today. However, today is special, and I wore black, and I want you all to know that I'm wearing black for a specific reason. As life goes on, we get older, and we transition. So over the weekend, a few days ago, something happened to a very good friend of mine that's called death. And I've written a poem many years ago, so I'm just going to share a line or two. Death is a movement that no one can explain. It comes in the middle of the night and steal away your loved ones and leave you in pain. And I woke up 4 days ago with a painful message that professor of Santa Fe Community College, when I knew him, Professor Ward Scott, had transitioned. I have known Ward Scott since the early 70s, when it was Santa Fe Community College. One day I was sitting at my desk, and I got a call from him. Miss Lizzie, yes. This is Ward Scott, yes. I would like for you to come to my class and speak to my research class and speak about Rosewood. He was the first professor to invite me, Rosewood. And I was saying to myself, what does he know about Rosewood? As I said, Rosewood did not really get known by the community until the early 80s, but because he was a research professor, he knew about Rosewood. So I went in and talked about Rosewood with his class, and he knew a lot about Rosewood. So we shared that, and we became friends, and we have been friends ever since. And I appreciate what he had to offer. And I also have an email that I have shared on my Facebook that we talked about during the time when he was a teacher and I was retired, but I am a Rosewood historian. So today is his day. I'm dedicating, if I didn't say it, I'm going to say it now. I am dedicating this show to Professor Ward Scott, Santa Fe College, retired trustee as we speak. He was an excellent researcher. He was a historian without bias. And we talked the same language. We knew that we needed to preserve Rosewood, and he was willing to do whatever he could do. I have been on his podcast or his talk show a couple of times, and I was getting ready to bring him on my show. So the last time I texted him was December 31, 2023. And I knew I had an event coming up in March, so I wanted to go on his show and talk about my event, my Rosewood event, and I was going to bring him on my show and talk about my Rosewood event. But you know what? He didn't return my message. He didn't answer. He didn't respond. And I knew that was kind of strange. So after his transition, I said, well, he knew that if we had gotten on the phone, it would have been 30 minutes or longer. He may not have felt like talking to me at the time. But anyway, he is resting. He's at peace. He is at a better place. And yes, I have known him for a long time, and I appreciate what he had to share with me about history. He was a historian. He grew up on a farm, and I did too, so we talked about animals. We had fun. I mean, we enjoyed each other, and so today means a lot to me. Okay, and this is why. This is his day. You see, as I said, I'm dressed in black, and this is for you, Ward Scott, and your family. Condolences to your wife, Barbara, and your family. We appreciate your work at Santa Fe and in the community. We're going to miss you. And I want to thank Freddie Weeby for being there for you and sending me the message. Okay, that's enough about Ward at this time. Yvette is my guest today, you all. Yvette Carter is my guest and my sorority sister, and she is all over the place. And I'm going to let her tell us about what she does in the community.
Okay, wow. So I do a couple things
More.
in the community. I am very active with our sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, now in our graduate chapter here in Gainesville, Delta Sigma Zeta chapter. I would be remiss if I didn't say it was the first Black Greek organization that was organized in Alachua County, so I'm very proud of us trailblazing in that manner. So a lot of the community work that I do is through the sorority. In my day job, I do community relations, government affairs, community relations. So we do a lot of work in that area, and I'm in some other civic organizations. Most of my work in the community, whether it be personal or professional, is around the making sure that it's an equitable environment for people, that everyone has access. That's a big fight and plight for me, and ensuring that there's an inclusive, that Gainesville is the most inclusive place that it can be. So you know that
Yes.
in our sorority, we do a lot of work that we call Z-Hope, helping others excel, right?
Yes.
So in doing that work, it is, we do things to help children. So we do scholarships. We have an adopt-a-school. We work in the areas of social justice,
Yes.
voter empowerment and engagement. We don't endorse we're nonpartisan. We don't endorse any candidates, but we definitely work towards issues for underrepresented communities or traditionally underrepresented communities. So whether that be health and maternal health, whether it be knowledge around cancer awareness, heart health, voter empowerment, voter engagement, get out the vote, whether it's about civic, making sure that people know about the importance of being involved in the court system, being a jurist. So we do the work that we do in Zeta is vast.
Exactly. And to me, one of the most important issues we address is voting. Because, Yvette, our parents, ancestors were not allowed to vote. And today we have the opportunity to vote. And we're going to say to you, get out, get off the sofa, get out, register to vote. Do it.
It is so very important. I agree with you. People died so that you and I could vote.
Right.
Right? We should be aware that there are things that have happened recently, changed recently, so that we don't miss our opportunity to vote. For those of us who do mail-in ballots,
Yes.
even if you registered last year, you have to register again, sign up again this year in order to get your mail-in ballot. So those who haven't gotten their mail-in ballot renewed this year, they should go reach out to the supervisor of elections for Alachua County, Kim Barton. Reach out to her office to ensure that you can get your mail-in ballot this year. We should be aware of the things that you need when you go to vote, right?
Exactly.
A legal ID. But surely be aware of the issues so that when you do go vote, that you're an informed voter. We should take someone with us to vote.
Exactly. Especially the kids, your children.
That's right. Even if they're not voting age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience.
That's right.
For them. I remember being a young kid. My parents never missed voting. Before I knew or understood the importance of voting, same with the NAACP. I was a member since I was 10 years of age. I didn't know anything about the NAACP, but it was character building, okay, and planning, strategizing, so that today I vote, never missed. I have voted, I'm thinking like 58 years, never missed. Even if there were one person, one candidate on the ballot, I still vote. And my mom trained her grandkids, okay, the same message. She gave her grandkids the same message. Today, she is no longer. And they're in their 20s and 30s and 40s. And every time it is voting time, they call me, Auntie, it's time to vote. Tell me who to vote for. No, I'm not going to tell you. It's your decision.
Voting is a personal choice.
Exactly.
Right? So, but you can only know who to vote for if you know where their stances are, what their platforms are.
Exactly.
So you have to, voting is work.
Exactly. And that's what they don't want to do. When they want me to tell them, nope. Well, Auntie, I got to vote. Yes, because my husband used to work at the polls, and if they didn't come to that poll to vote, they knew he was going to let me know. Yeah, because Uncle John is up there, and we know he's going to tell you we didn't vote. So tell us. I said, no, I can't tell you. So they figured it out. Okay?
Very good.
Yes, and that's what we need to do today. Continue to train our kids. And
Yes.
let them know the importance.
I like that you go beyond your children, because I'm sure your children are super voters, very
Yes.
engaged voters, but you go to your family members, your extended family members, your nieces, your nephews.
Yes.
I think that every family should have a voting champion or a host of voting champions that are calling around wherever they live, wherever you live, whatever state, whatever county. Make sure you learn about the issues and that you go vote. Vote your heart, vote your conscience,
Yes,
but vote.
that's right. That's right. And as I tell people, history is not political. You get out there and you vote. Like you said, we died. Our ancestors died because they didn't have the opportunity to vote. And I remember my grandfather, I have his record, his registration. He voted in 1897. I have a copy, and the date may be wrong. It may be 1870. I don't know, but I have a copy of it. However, and I'm not going to go there, but he passes right. And he voted. And black men back there worked with Josiah T. Walls back there, meaning in Archer, because Josiah T. Walls was
Wow.
the first congressman, black congressman. And he lived in Archer. He taught school in Archer.
Right, from Alachua County, right.
Yeah.
During Reconstruction, right? He
Yeah,
served
see-
during Reconstruction.
Yes, see how
What
smart
great
you are.
history. What great
Yes.
history.
And I can tell you something about Ted Yoho. When I talk about Ted Yoho, people, but anyway, Ted Yoho, when they adopted what did they name after? Josiah T. Walls building.
That's right.
They asked him to be a speaker.
Where the supervisor of election is.
Yes. And they asked him to be a speaker. And they told him they were naming it Josiah T. Walls. He said, now who in the world is Josiah T. Walls? He didn't know. And the reason I appreciate it is because he said, Miss Lizzie, you know, I didn't know that he was the first black congressman. And he said, I'm upset today with my school because they never taught me black history.
Right. There was a host of them, right? Some from Mississippi, like the whole South had a whole contingent.
Yes.
So I don't know the number, but he was one of the very first. That's
He
right.
was.
The first in Alachua County, for sure.
In Alachua County, right.
For sure.
Yes. And, you know, I'm a history, what I call myself a history buff. But anyway, I have a picture of the 1865 legislators that was in Tallahassee, and there are 5 blacks on there. And one day I'm going to talk to you all more about it. And there were 5 blacks on this particular photograph. It wasn't my grandfather, no one related to me, but it was history being made. And I'm thinking one of them may have been Josiah T. Walls.
I think I remember that photo, and there is one it's on your book, right? The book that you...
Probably so. Yes, it is. Yes,
That's
it
right.
is.
That's
Yes, it
right.
is.
Josiah T. Walls is one.
Yes. Yes. But anyway, that's about time for our first half. We're going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History. I am Florida and America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, 2 things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, brought to you weekly from the Steve Spurrier Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We are here with Yvette Carter. The Queen Lizzie Podcast is brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union, live from the Meldon Law Gator Studios at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Special thanks to Greg Bradley, Allstate Insurance. We are back, and we are going to continue our conversation talking about Zeta, politics, and Rosewood. And by the way, rosewoodflorida.com, you may go there, purchase a book, make a donation, or become a member. And on March 9th of this year, we're having an event at the Hilton wherein we are recognizing 8 8 influential women in the community and abroad. But anyway, we would like for you to purchase a ticket or become a sponsor or just come and watch us in action. I have done absolutely so much in Gainesville during my time researching Rosewood in the last 30 years. And I'm trying to bring about too many things for this meeting, for this event that's coming up in March. But we would love to have you there. Recently, I'm thinking about a documentary, adding that as a beginning of taping for our movie, because we got to tell the real story of Rosewood. I appreciate John Singleton so much because, after all, he was the first person that was brave enough, because back then they were not too happy when he talked Rosewood movie. But instead, in spite of, he went through, followed his plan, and put Rosewood out there. Thank you, John Singleton. So back to our event, March 9th. You will be hearing more about it from my advertisement that's coming up. We just need the support. Rosewood, I tell people, Yvette, it's not about me. It's about all of us. It's about the future. It's about the next generation. As I tell people, I'm 85. Someone has to take Rosewood on. And I'm looking at my sorority, okay? I
Okay.
am. I'm looking at you all. We're going to build a museum coming up really soon. There will be a blue room in that museum.
Oh, wow.
Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Yes, we've got to do it. Who is more capable of taking it to the next level?
Well, you know I'm biased. You know I think Zeta can do anything.
Exactly. And you're so smart.
Oh.
Because you think that.
I think
that
Zeta can do
yes,
anything.
yes. And you were talking during the break about Sarah Cora Robinson.
Oh, yes. We were talking about voting
Yes.
and really how our community, the Black community, the voting was so high. The numbers that came out was so high. And we were talking about one of our chartering members of our chapter, Miss Cora Roberson.
Yes.
She's our own hidden figure.
Yes.
She was also, not only was she a great educator, she was one of the first Black teachers to teach at an integrated school when she taught at Kirby Smith
Yes.
in the 60s. But she was also the first woman, not Black woman, not Negro woman,
Yes.
the first woman
In Alachua County.
in Alachua County to run for public office.
All right.
She ran for the Gainesville City Commission in 1968. She ran against 4 white men.
Yes.
She ended up in a runoff
Yes.
with the great Perry McGriff.
Yes.
And she ended up with, I think, 42% of the vote.
Yes, she did.
The endorsement from the Gainesville Sun in 1968.
Yes, indeed.
And she was
Gainesville
just such a great, great trailblazer for women
Yes.
in politics, for community advocates.
Yes.
She fought for the, so many things on her platform were so influential, and we see today. She wanted a transit system in Gainesville.
Yes.
She ran on that platform.
Yes, she
we
did.
now have RTS.
Yes, we do.
She wanted a park for the Black children to be able to, a safe place for the Black children to be able to play.
Yes.
Tumbling Creek Park was the area that ended up, that place that she was advocating for.
Yes.
So the city of Gainesville did create Tumbling Creek Park. It is now called Cora Roberson Park. The city of Gainesville in 2020, the city commission did change the name of that park to honor her.
Exactly.
She was the first woman, the first Head Start director, full-time Head Start director in Alachua County. So many things that we could say about Cora. She was
About
such a
her. I think
trailblazer.
she was the, like you said, the first, but not only in Alachua County, that was the first Head Start in the state of Florida. Am I right?
I'm not quite sure. We could do
Okay.
that research, but I know
Research,
she
I'm
was
thinking.
definitely a trailblazer
She
in that
was.
area, in early childhood education and in elementary education. You were talking about in one of your previous podcasts that your aunt taught at the University of Florida.
Yes.
Well, Cora taught people who went off to war, went into the military, Black people who went into the military when they came back home. She taught them at the University of Florida to get their GED in the 50s.
And they didn't talk about that. But this is history that we need to bring forth. And when Dr. Fox was there at the University of Florida, I shared the same information with him. I said, Dr. Fox, my aunt taught school at the University of Florida. He looked at me, really? I said, sure. I said, she was a teacher. She worked as what we call a maid. I said, but she was not a maid. I said, she was the teacher in the basement at the University of Florida. She taught all white males, football players. He said, for real? I said, we need a certificate. However, he is no longer there. And I have spoken to Dr. Sass, and I'm waiting for a response. Our history needs to be documented.
There's so much great history
Yes.
that are attributed to Black people at the University of Florida. I
Yes.
don't want to call it Black history because it's American history
now,
it's
but
the University of Florida history,
yes.
but there's so much great history at the University of Florida. One of which since we're kind of peppering in
Yes,
Zeta. The Mu Epsilon chapter of Zeta Phi Beta sorority incorporated was the first Black Greek sorority on campus in 1974.
Right.
So we are coming up this April 3rd will be the 50th anniversary
Yes.
for the first Black Greek sorority on campus. So we're excited about that. But your work around researching and making sure accurate history
Yes.
is portrayed as it relates to Rosewood and beyond.
Yes.
I think that is important.
It is.
It is important for us to call it out, to say it. It's pretty awesome. You know, we talk about the sports. We're in the sports room, and so we talk about the sports. We talk about Willie Jackson Sr. and all of those.
Exactly.
It's great to learn more about folks who taught there and who,
Exactly.
although Cora wasn't a professor,
Right.
but the University of Florida, even before integration, allowed Black soldiers,
Amen.
veterans who came home, to go on campus. It might have been in the evenings. I don't know what time of day it was, but to be taught.
It happened.
That's right. That's right.
And 30 or 40 years ago, do you think we would be sitting in Spurrier's podcast room? Maybe
30 or 40 years ago, yes, because that was about the time
okay,
that I
60
came.
years ago.
60 years ago, maybe not. Maybe not. But in the 90s, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
okay,
I think we could have
okay.
in the 90s.
Okay.
But in the 50s or the 60s, maybe not.
But I said that to let people know how appreciative I am for having this opportunity to do a podcast here. And friends asked, Liz, how did you manage that? I didn't. Freddie Weeby managed it.
That's pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome. And do you think I'm proud?
You should be.
I am. And you know what? When I invited you, you said, do you remember what you said when I invited you to be on my show?
I don't.
I would love to.
Oh,
I would love to. And I want to thank Steve Spurrier, Meldon Law, and Freddie Weeby. They are not my three stooges. They are my three-pack. Whatever
Okay.
you want to go.
Okay.
They look out for real history, Rosewood history. They follow, and Yvette, people follow my history, or not my history, Rosewood history, American history, because they know it's the truth. My mom said, research, authenticate, tell the truth, never attack people that live today, because they didn't create Rosewood, baby, and you didn't create Rosewood. Just tell the truth, and that's what I try to do. And I appreciate you, and I thought you were going to talk about Zornia Hurston, but Zornia Hurston
definitely.
event is coming up
this
Sunday, the 25th.
I think it's the 24th, Sunday the 24th.
Okay,
Yes.
at
At the Cotton Club Museum and Cultural Center.
Yes.
At 3:00. The Gainesville Zetas, in partnership with the Cotton Club Museum and Cultural Center, and I think it's the Smathers Library Collection at the
Yes.
University of Florida.
It is.
Flo Turcotte. We are hosting an afternoon with Zora. I think you were the creator. That was your brainchild.
in
Right?
2010.
In
yes.
2010.
Yes.
And so this is 2024. We're still doing it. And that event will be an afternoon to really honor the works of the great Zora Neale Hurston.
Exactly.
Also, a triumphant member of our sorority.
Influential.
Member of
Most-
our sorority,
yes.
a great Floridian,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
But she did so many great literary works and
Exactly.
beyond. She was an anthropologist.
Yes, she
You
was.
know, she had traveled
everywhere.
everywhere.
And I'm thinking she traveled to Rosewood. And I don't know if I've told you or not, or anybody. My aunt may have been a Zeta. Everything, however, was burned. I found in her items that the Levy County Sheriff rescued a royal blue purse. And in that purse, there was a document. And on that document, it says, the Harlem Renaissance. I'm making a copy for every Zeta for Sunday to give to us. It doesn't prove anything, but why was this Harlem Renaissance in my aunt's purse? But everybody will get a copy. And she was like she was a what, as people say, shotgun toting woman. Why did she carry a shotgun? To protect herself. I admire her. She was strong, okay? She was a Zeta. She was an advocate for doing what is right. I'm glad she didn't meet any of the people from Rosewood that would have offended her. She may have used her shotgun on them. But we must keep the Rosewood history alive. We must keep our Zeta history. We're doing that.
We're doing that.
She is an advocate, you all. She is a great advocate for history, for Rosewood, for Zeta, for the Alachua County. You do it all, and we appreciate you so much.
Oh wow! I don't know how good of a job I do, but I just, people like the great Patricia Hilliard, Dr. Patricia Hilliard Nunn, Ms. Vivian Filer, Mrs. Dolores Rentz. I'm gonna stop calling names because I'm gonna mess up and miss somebody, but I just try to sit at their feet and just learn from them. And so many others, not just them, but so many others. Gainesville and Alachua County is a gem in that there are many people who really fight to preserve the history. Alachua County has that Community Remembrance Project.
Yes.
There are just so many people. We have the Aquin Jones Museum, now the Cotton Club Museum and Cultural Center. There's so many things here that preserve the history as it relates to the accomplishments of Black folk. So pretty excited. I should not leave out the Matheson Museum. There are a lot of people who are people and organizations who are dedicated to making sure that accurate history is preserved here in Alachua County.
Right, and I have shared some artifacts at the Matheson Center in recognizing recognition of Rosewood. So yes, the Matheson Center. But like you say, we don't want to talk and leave others out. Santa Fe. Oh, by the way, I am donating on March 9th a diorama to Santa Fe. You got to be there to see it. We are going to we will have it inside of the Hilton in the lunchroom. At the end of the program, we are going to turn the lights off in the lunchroom or in the restaurant or wherever we're eating, the dining hall. When we turn those lights off, we're going to turn the lights on in the diorama, and the entire town of Rosewood is going to light up.
Wow.
And I know I'm going to pass out.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we are working it, recognizing and keeping Rosewood active positively, okay? And we appreciate you for listening. And would you like to have closing words? Anything else?
Oh, no, I'm just honored that you had me on the show today. Topics that are near and dear to my heart and are important to make sure that we kind of call out and lift up and wave a flag for.
Thank you very much. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, this is my Rosewood story, and I'm sticking to it. Goodbye.